David, why do you think Christian prophets are on the rise again? This is a really interesting question, and there's a super compelling article in the New York Times about Christian prophets and their predictions. And one of the points that the article makes is that right now, there is a real hunger for reassurance and clarity in many areas of American culture. In particular, we have seen Donald Trump be the least popular president by approval rating in the polling era, leave the White House with the lowest approval rating of any president in the polling era, with so many failed promises from Donald Trump. And for the left, who never believed any of that stuff to begin with, and on average is less religious than the right, and to the extent that the left is religious, it tends to be less the sort of charismatic evangelical Christianity that is so much more prominent on the right in the United States. The left isn't really looking for prophecy, for reassurance and clarity, because much of the left never believed Trump to begin with, and much of the left doesn't look to these sort of televangelist equivalents for guidance. On the right, you saw an initially resistant evangelical Christian wing of America resist Trump at the beginning, sort of get behind Ted Cruz and some other candidates in the 2016 Republican primary. Eventually, Trump won, and they certainly weren't going to vote for Hillary Clinton. So you saw a lot of these folks who would not normally go for the multiple times divorced guy who pays off porn stars and whatever else. Okay, they went with him. And then everything he promised he didn't do. Now, some of them just continue to insist he did all of it. He was the most pro-life president and all of this different stuff. But many of them now are seeking some kind of reassurance and clarity after seeing Trump not do any of the stuff he promised to do, and then lose to Joe Biden, who, despite actually being more devoutly religious than Donald Trump, is Catholic and is a Democrat, which does not go too well for a lot of these charismatic and evangelical Christian communities. So there's a big demand for someone who will tell you in clear terms, here's what's going to happen. And that is part of the reason why Christian prophets are sort of seeing this resuscitation, newly popular once again, widely making wrong predictions, as has always been the case. Now, interestingly, astrology is also expanding in popularity, and the number of Americans who believe in psychics are also expanding. And I think that this is just a general sort of reaction to uncertain political times combined with a global 100-year pandemic and the desire to have someone who will tell you, here's how things are going to be in your life, in the political future of the United States, etc. We know that at minimum, 1/3 of Americans say that they're suffering from stress and anxiety as a result of the pandemic. When we ask, when will it be over? We don't really know. We're starting to get more clarity, at least on the trajectory over the next few months, and things are looking better, and hopefully it'll keep going that way. But for a year now, we've had such uncertainty that it is natural that people would want answers, and they would want someone who will tell you definitively who is more arrogant in their predictions than these particular televangelist type Christian prophets whose income and livelihood depends on, even if they don't know what the hell's going to happen, telling you that they definitely do. And because of that, I'm not particularly surprised that this world of Christian punditry and prophecy has surged in popularity. If I'm missing something in that analysis, let me know. I'm curious to hear from you. We have a fantastic bonus show for you today. Make sure you get instant access by becoming a member at joinpakman.com. We will see you then.